nation, and the million faces formed together, made for elevation.
They can take my heart, they can take my breath when they're crying from my cold dead chest.
This is how we rise up, heavy as a hurricane, louder than a freight train. This is how we rise up, heart is beating faster, feels like third rain. This is how we rise up, it's our world, they can never have it. This is how we rise up, it's our resistance, you can't resist us.
Hello, KCCW fans. Welcome to the final edition of KCCW TV before Vendetta tomorrow, April 22nd. I am good buddy Joe. Unfortunately, Ryan Michael Moberly is stuck at Applebee's in traffic, and we have one hell of a show for you tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the KCCW Openweight Champion, Tucker Hill!
I'm back again. This time, not looking for a fight, not some OCW champion wrestler, whoever the hell that was last time, or some jabroni from backstage, or a fan from the stands. I want Taylor Robinson this time. So I'm calling you out for the last time. I want you out right here, right now. I'm getting my belt back. And I will fight you for it right now. So come on out. Let's get this going. No one from backstage, no OCW pussy. Let's get this going right now. Well, there we have it. Not coming out. See, as a god, you're supposed to be everywhere. But you're never here. So I don't understand why you call yourself a god. You say kneel before your god. Well, I've never kneeled before in my life, and I'm never gonna start right now. So, you want your match at Vendetta? You got it. You don't even have to ask. You got it. Vendetta, here I come. I'm coming for my belt. You will be done.
Hey world, look at me. Just wanna tell my story. We were born with destiny, and I'm not gonna be nobody. You're gonna know my name. You're gonna know my name. You're gonna know my name.
And fans, we are excited to announce that T-Rob will be facing Tucker Hill tomorrow at Vendetta for the Openweight Championship. We have not seen much of the man that calls himself God since he stole that title from Tucker Hill, but tomorrow those two will finally come face to face. T-Rob, Tucker Hill, the grudge match, the payoff to this epic feud that we've seen, and I hope it's going to be one hell of a match. These two really just do not like each other.
I'm about to evade DJ. I'm gonna find Timothy Berg, man.
Oh, you're gonna find Timothy Berg?
Yeah.
What a
Is
coincidence.
he, man? Where is he, man? I'm about to beat his ass, man.
And fans, we want to take you back to season finale when we saw Timothy Berg to KCCW. He joined the Wolfpack, and he ended up teaming up with Ross Thomas, Axel Wolfgang, Deacon Grimm. They all took out Dante Davis, left him laying in the backyard. I mean, this was just a brutal assault. Axel Wolfgang even took his shoes off. But I'll tell you, this was one hell of a feud that we've seen so far, and this was just the beginning. He didn't seem to have much help. Timothy Berg, of course, made the shock return, and we didn't know why at the time he did this. We would find out later on, and we see him hit him there with that big suplex. Davis was just manhandled. And here we see Timothy Berg and Dante Davis finally having their match at season premiere after their encounter at season finale. This was one hell of a match, but Timothy Berg would unfortunately finish it off with the Wolfang. Ended up pinning Dante Davis in his first match back. This was brutal. and it once again showed how crazy this feud was going to become, as we see the leader of the Wolfpack, Ross Thomas, coming out to congratulate him. Axel Wolfgang right behind him. Timothy Berg really hadn't had much success in KCCW prior, but this was definitely a big win for him, and a big win for the Wolfpack overall. And then, as we see after the match, we thought it was over. Ross Thomas went right back to beating up Davis. They took off his shoes again. They were just beating him with them. But Andrew Garrett, Mr. Smooth, would finally say enough is enough. He would come out to save his friend Dante Davis. And this was really where this feud picked up steam. The next week, Mr. Smooth and Dante Davis ended up taking on Timothy Berg and Ross Thomas, and it would be Andrew Garrett that got the win for his team. This was another brutal match, but Timothy Berg, unfortunately, unable to capitalize off the success from the week prior, and Andrew Garrett and Dante Davis would exact their revenge. But again, after the match, this isn't it. Ross Thomas always going a little too far, putting his hands on big official Alvern. But thankfully, Dante Davis was able to break it up, and this was just unnecessary. Thankfully, big official Alvern was able to get everything under control for the most part, well, for a little bit, and then it all broke down. This was definitely the most wild brawl we have seen out of these two teams so far. And fans, just remember, tomorrow night, Vendetta, April 22nd, 3-on-3, the Chocolate Train versus the Wolfpack. 6-man tag team elimination match. Deacon Grimm's still in a coma, so this is only 3-on-3. So you can expect it's going to be just as brutal as the matches we've seen so far. Dante Davis and Andrew Garrett, along with Colby Johnson, will be taking on Ross Thomas, Axel Wolfgang, and Timothy Berg.
That I want to face here in KCCW. There's a lot of people that I want to kick their ass. And I'm going to do it. Can you even breathe? Can you even talk right now? I'm not even sure if you can. Looking at me with that dumb look on your face. You know what? You know what? I don't even think I'm gonna face you. Because, I mean, what is it? That's abuse. I'm abusing somebody that can't properly defend themselves. It's wrong. But I might make an exception because of the disrespect that you showed me. What do you have to say? Anything?
And there we see it. Brandon Steele made his triumphant return to KCCW. Hit the Steel Sanctuary on Scott Tyler.
Let's do it. 2 weeks, Vendetta. Why not?
Brandon Steele? With everything? With his heart failure? With his injuries? Thinks he could come in and accept my challenge? That's disrespectful. I don't think he knows what's coming to him. I'm gonna tear him to pieces. Now, I have a vendetta with Brandon Steele.
And fans, we just saw this feud. We saw a little bit of the reason why it's happening. Mr. Steele, your girl, Brandon Steele, accepted the challenge of Scott Tyler from TNS. They will be facing off tomorrow night. Brandon Steele has been facing heart issues since leaving KCCW. You gotta wonder if that's gonna factor into this upcoming match. We'll find out tomorrow night.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. From Kansas City, weighing in at 124 pounds, the Kansas City Patriot. Introducing his opponent, representing the Wolfpack from Berlin, Germany, weighing in at 160 pounds, the White Wolf, Ross Thomas.
Strength of the wolf is the pack. Strength of the pack is the wolf. It's gonna be a fucking cold war. You guys ready?
Go, the Kansas City Patriot, taking on the White Wolf, Ross Thomas. And Thomas just brutalizing him so far, hits the Wolf Fang. And it looks like he's not going for the cover up. There it is. One, two, and the Kansas City Patriot able to kick out of the Wolf Fang quick. I got to chalk that up to Ross Thomas not going immediately for the cover. But the Kansas City Patriot, we haven't seen too much from here in KCCW, but he started this match off with a bang, that big missile drop kick, taking Ross Thomas right to the ground. And now pulling on that Waffle House arm sleeve and waffling him with an elbow. And another elbow here by the Kansas City Patriot. Now working over the arm of Ross Thomas. The Kansas City Patriot, definitely a unique looking character. Don't really know what to make of him, but he's impressed me thus far. And now Ross Thomas, it's a big German suplex, takes the Kansas City Patriot right on the ground and now just choking him. Big official Alvern has got to break this one up. Yeah, he's got to get this under control, but no one takes advantage of big official Alvern. And now the Kansas City Patriot just going insane, slapping Ross Thomas to the ground. My goodness, this is brutal. Kansas City Patriot trying to get the fans riled up, but they don't seem too responsive. And now big German suplex and a super kick.
Right now.
You got to wonder, you saw Scott Tyler bleed in their match just this past week on TV. And now Tucker Hill bleeding. So we got too much blood going in here at KCCW Moves. This feud is getting personal.
Was that the Bowman arrow? And oh, not enough for Scott Tyler. That's what that looked like to me.
I think that was a bit of a callback to the Bowman arrow, the Zach Bowman, touring the world, scouting for KCCW, bringing us great talent like Kyle Edson and Kofi Johnson.
That's correct, and I guess a nice little ode to Zach Bowman there Tucker Hill was paying, and now Tucker Hill in control. He's got Scott Tyler down.
He's doing a lot of good work for us, but yeah, as we see, Tucker Hill somehow able to neutralize Scott Tyler.
Look at that. Oh, wow, nice. Scott Tyler was going to get sent into the deck there. He managed to jump off and hit.
And we are back from commercial fans. Ross Thomas, during the break, was able to get control of the Kansas City Patriot, but that is now broken down. Kansas City Patriot on the getting the upper hand once again. I am sorry. And now Ross Thomas looks like he's going for some sort of slam, but the Kansas City Patriot able to reverse it. And unfortunately, is just thrown to the ground for his efforts. Ross now picking him up. I thought he was going for some sort of pin, but not to be. Now trying to take that. He's got him up. He's going for some sort of airplane spin right into the house, repeatedly slamming the Patriot, and the Patriot able to reverse it into a DDT. We haven't seen too many people take advantage of Ross Thomas like this. I was shocked, honestly, when we saw the Kansas City Patriot really putting up a fight here. But I don't know. Ross Thomas maybe not ready for Vendetta if he can't even beat the Patriot so far. It looks like the Patriot's going off the rough. And I don't know if he got it. It looks like he did get some of it. Ross Thomas dazed on the ground. The Patriot going right off the rough. And now going for the pin. Big official Alvern only counts at 2. And now Ross Thomas is back on the offensive. Hits the Patriot with an elbow slap. And the Patriot calling to get slapped. Ross Thomas giving it to him, but the Patriot giving it right back. That big elbow again by the Kansas City Patriot. And now Ross Thomas looks like he's brandishing a chair. This might get him a disqualification, but I don't think he cares. Kansas City Patriot calling this thing off. He says he wants to do this clean. And then hits a huge drop kick on Ross Thomas. Wow, this guy is impressive. I gotta say, I'm impressed with the Patriot. He's putting up one hell of a fight against the White Wolf. And now a huge moonsault, standing moonsault. And once again, big official Alvern only calls the 2. I mean, we saw the Kansas City Patriot at Applebee's. Me, Mobes, Alvern, Broman, Kyle Edson, everyone was there, and this guy just didn't seem like much of a fighter, but I'll be damned, he's proven me wrong. And now looks like he's jumping off the rough. This doesn't, oh, no, Ross caught him. And a huge rock bottom there on the grass. That might be it. We have not seen that move out of Ross Thomas. Only a 2. High risk, high reward jumping off that rough, but the Kansas City Patriot took the risk. It just did not pay off, and now it looks like Ross, hits the Wolf Fang. And he learned from his mistake earlier. It looks like he's going right for the pin. Big official Alvern. And that is it. Unfortunately, the Kansas City Patriot put up one hell of a fight, but he was not able to put away Ross Thomas. That will do it. Thomas gets the big win going into Vendetta. It's going to be one interesting match tomorrow. We'll see what sort of condition he is in. And fans, we are going to take you back a long time ago, about 6 months ago, back in the KCCW title tournament. Of course, this was Jordan Bass versus Christian Barlow. We heard Chase Wilson's music, well, but he never actually showed up, and this didn't end up working out too well for Mr. Bass. Eventually, Christian would set the bar high, take Jordan out, get the win, and get the surprise win over Jordan Bass, advancing him in the title tournament. This would carry him all the way to the finals. Of course, we'll take you back to Crowning Achievement, our first special event. Christian Barlow looked like victory was certain. Of course, Chase Wilson stepped off the ladder. Bass came out here and unfortunately, just took Barlow right off the ladder. This would sideline Christian for about, 6 months. This took him out for a very long time. His ankle was hurt. Bass probably didn't think much of it. Probably didn't think much was going to happen. We just didn't see Barlow for a long time. Of course, in the time since Crowning Achievement, Chase Wilson won the title, of course, at this show, was defeated by Jordan Bass. Jordan Bass is our current champion. Of course, since we have seen Jordan Bass defend the title against various challengers like Justin Lopez, and we now see Jordan Bass, of course, season premiere. He thought he was riding high. He thought no one could beat him.
And that's this. The most important prize in all of backyard wrestling. No one can touch us and no one can touch me. Because I'm just plain. I'm back for that. This? You think you have a chance at getting your hands on this? You couldn't win it back at Crowning Achievement. What makes you think you can win it now?
You low-blowed me at Crowning Achievement. You're the reason I don't have that. I was so close.
You were so close yet so far, and now I hold this. So you're back now. You want a title shot? Is that right?
Yeah. And I'm gonna get it.
And here we see Jordan Bass costing Christian Barlow a title shot. That title shot was eventually given to Scott Tyler on Royal. Christian Barlow screwed out of his opportunity about 6 months later, once again by Jordan Bass. It looked like that title was out of reach. And then, unfortunately, he did not get the title match, but he was supposed to have a non-title match with Jordan Bass. But Jordan Bass, being the cheap shot artist he is, eventually took out Christian Barlow before the match. As we see it here, takes that big traffic cone and just whacks him in the back with it. Christian Barlow would be injured later on. He was in rough shape. Jordan Bass taking the easy route, not having to beat Barlow, walking away, but grabbing a chair. There was a lot of damage done to Christian Barlow here. A lot. And we thought that they wouldn't end up having the non-title matchup. Thought it made a lot of sense. We thought Christian Barlow, like any other reasonable person, would just stay down, take the night off after that brutal assault. As we see Jordan Bass hits the ego trip. But I'll be damned, Barlow came back. The ultimate underdog stood up to his nickname. He ended up taking on Jordan Bass later on that night in the scheduled non-title matchup. Of course, as we've seen in the past, Bass got a little bit cocky, and it ended up costing him. Christian Barlow was able to successfully beat Jordan Bass once again in non-title action for the second time here in KCCW, and he gets his shot tomorrow night. Christian Barlow finally gets his KCCW title match against Jordan Bass. This feud has been brewing for months and months and months, and it finally pays off tomorrow night at Vendetta. We also have Scott Tyler taking on Brandon Steele. That match promises to be something special. Brandon Steele, he's been out of action for the most part for a long time, and I just don't know how that's going to pay off for him. Of course, we know he's had heart issues. As much as I think Brandon Steele wants to win, I just don't know if he can. I got to go with Scott Tyler in that one. And don't forget, we also have the 6-man elimination tag team match, the Chocolate Train. Dante Davis, Andrew Garrett, and Colby Johnson taking on the Wolfpack, represented by Ross Thomas, Axel Wolfgang, and Timothy Berg. We have seen this feud continue for months, but now we're adding Colby Johnson to the mix. I don't know what's going to happen. The Colt piece is definitely going to add some intrigue to this match. I don't know. I just see the momentum swaying towards the Chocolate Train in this one. I think Chocolate Train is going to walk away with the win. Then we have our Openweight title match. Finally, we haven't seen much of T-Rob recently, but he will be here tomorrow night taking on Tucker Hill. I think Tucker's going to walk away with this one. Tucker may not be in the shape T-Rob's in. Tucker might not be as good a wrestler as T-Rob is. But I'll say this much. Tucker Hill has heart. Tucker Hill has been here wrestling. T-Rob has not been doing much for the last little while, and I think that's going to work against him tomorrow night. And then once again, our main event, Jordan Bass, Christian Barlow, title on the line. I think Barlow's going to walk away with it. I think all this pent-up aggression he's had for months and months and months against Jordan Bass, I think it's going to lead him to the promised land. It's going to lead him to that KCCW title. Fans, join us tomorrow night, April 22nd, for our next Supercard Vendetta. We hope to see you all there to what promises to be a really great show. Thank you for watching KCCW TV, and we'll see you tomorrow night.